hi, welcome to another episode of our series Speaking to Entrepreneurs. My name is Pradyun. I'm from the BBA DB team at IIM Bangalore, and I hope you're having fun with the Explorations in Entrepreneurship course. Today we have with us a very special guest, architect Prathima Seethur, who is the founder and chief architect at Right Inspires India. So Right Inspires is an eco-responsive architecture firm based out of Bangalore, India, and they have realized more than 250 projects in and around Bangalore and beyond. So with deep rootedness to nature and strong beliefs in sustainability, this firm really specializes in making homes and living spaces that are special. So thank you very much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit more about the firm and what you do?
Hey Pradyun, thanks for introducing me and Right Inspires. Right Inspires is an architectural firm. I am an architect by profession, and we build homes for people. We build homes which celebrate people, which celebrate nature, where there's ample light and ventilation, where there is, space at luxury. There is that sense of responsibility of the space around us. So that's the eco-awareness lifestyle that we bring in through our buildings. So I believe today I want to redefine luxury in the building industry. Today it is luxury to breathe that fresh air, to have that access to fresh water, to kind of get that sunlight into your homes, and to be able to hear to the chirping of birds outside and spot of one or two squirrels at their play, from inside of your living room. So this is a beautiful world that you create, and we, as cities are growing, we are losing out on what the relationship of the homes to the external surrounding is. So we at Right Inspires try to redefine luxury in built spaces, following the eco principles.
Okay, wow, that's wonderful. Quite a peculiar name, right? Right Inspires. Where does it come from? Why is it WRIGHT?
Yeah, so WRIGHT is definitely not the Wright brothers who invented the aircrafts and air travel for us. It is Frank Lloyd Wright, who is considered father of modern architecture. So I started my practice, and like everybody else, named it as Prathima Seethur Architects when I just started it. There's a story for how I started and why I started. And later, after around 10 years, is when I got into building my own a home for my own family and a studio for my own use. And believe me, in that phase of life, when architects have to design for themselves, it's so confusing. You don't know what to do and you're looking for direction. And on the internet, I could spot this Frank Lloyd Wright's work, who has done tremendous amount of work a century back, and there's so much of documentation, and most of the kind of works we do, I could relate to. The language was the same. It was organic architecture, it was natural architecture. So I said, it is Right Inspires. And through this little firm that I do, to the little work that I do, I want to kind of inspire people also.
Wow, that's wonderful. So I think out of my own curiosity, right, how did you even get into architecture, and why did you choose architecture as a career path, and then as an entrepreneur grow your architecture practice? So how did you get into architecture would be my question.
You guys are today's youngsters. In our days, we didn't know the world so well. We were not the internet world. But my dad was a civil engineer, and he was very sure. I must say, I am living my dad's dream. He was the one who wanted me to be an architect, and I enjoy every bit of what he has gifted me, I must say. So architecture, he was a civil engineer. That's how he thought that being a woman, I can make a good architect. In his ideology, he said you can have a practice at home and you can have children and manage work and children together. Now for sure have the office, my studio at home, but I'm not sure if I'm managing my children so well. Of course, when they were younger, I did have the time freedom to kind of switch between the roles and do that. Yes, yes. So I'm living my father's dream. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that he's gifted me, and he has had a major influence on me for being an entrepreneur, or for that say a career woman.
Okay, wow, that's quite inspiring actually. So how did you find sustainability to be a path that you want to tread on? Because there are lots of architects that practice lots of different styles, right? Was there some influence in your life very early on that you said sustainable architecture is something that I wanted to practice very consciously? What is the story behind that?
So we lived in this place called Vidyaranipura in Bangalore, which was very close to that GKVK's stretch of land, which was all foresty. And I was so lucky when I was in the college. Architect Chitra Vishwanath built a home just next street of where we stayed. So that was a very easy opportunity for me to walk down there, watch what she is doing, and then I was so lucky to interact with her in her free time, and then I saw her do little things which, you know, simple things like say no to plastic, say no to concrete, you know, build with earth. All these kind of had those early impacts of that exposure is what you need. So when you're young, when you're in your teenage, or when you're in your 20s, you have to look for people. You should meet so many people so you can find your right influence and you can find your own future. You will see where you are going at by the kind of people who you meet. And then it was college. In the School of Architecture, we were lucky to have visiting faculty come in who are practicing architects of Bangalore. So I was fortunate enough to have some sessions from Sanjay Mohe and architect Jaisim. So who are all into some kind of natural architecture, ecological architecture, extensive work done from them, beautiful pieces of architecture that they create, and the early influence has gotten me till.
Were you always very entrepreneurial? How did entrepreneurship happen? Were you working somewhere before? What is that story like?
So I didn't know what entrepreneurship meant. I think I have learned it very recently through my son, maybe I would say. So I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know I was trying to run my practice and all that. I was very passionate as an architect, okay? And this thing happened to me that, you know, in a very short span of time, I had a boyfriend at college, and so I had to get married. And so I had a child very early, and then I was advised, you know, you have to take care of your son, who is more important now, and take a back seat kinds. And I was wondering, I was so busy in that little stint of 2 years before, just after college, all this could happen in my life. And I really enjoyed working. I really enjoyed practicing architecture. So I was not going to give up on that, but today I'm so lucky to think of that situation that women get this pause in life, and that is why entrepreneurship comes more as an opportunity for women than men. So I'm so delighted that there was this pause and break, and I could think all over. And because I was passionate about architecture, there was no looking back. I mean, I had to work, and I didn't know I could do so much. And it was an accidental entrepreneurship. I don't know what you guys call it in the technical way, but it was very accidental, and I would say I was not very conscious of being an entrepreneur. If I was told 20 years back that I have to manage an office, make so much salary payment and all of those things, you know, there's a HR department, there's a marketing, sales. I wouldn't have gotten into this. So it was something that came my way, and it has worked beautifully for me. And what we also have to think is the land where we are, like India. I think India is a place where entrepreneurship is like, was practiced. Everybody was their own boss, you know, before the Britishers could come in. I think everybody had their own little thing happening, and it's a very good space where you get to express yourself. It's a space where you have that freedom to experiment and put out your best. So I think we should have a lot more entrepreneurs.
So it's been more than 20 years since you have started your practice, right? What was the journey from growing it from just you trying to meet people, trying to design homes, to now having an office with more than 20 people, like 2 offices in Bangalore, going to open few more in the very near future, and having realized 250 plus projects, so many residences, so many homes that you've built for people, apartment complexes, you've built a celebration venue, you built farmhouses, lots of very interesting projects. So how has been the journey from starting off to where you have come right now?
Very beautiful. Enjoyed every bit of it. Actually works, I must say, in the initial years, my mentor, Architect Jayasim, was very supportive. We did a lot of works together, you know. He allowed me to work from my own office space with the kind of constraint I had. He said, take care of your family, and then we do work also. So with that, a lot of interesting work happened in the initial years, and I would like to do that for every young architect out there, create opportunities for them to spin off. So that was a very good spin off for me. And we never went behind projects. The projects came to us. So there was never a time we said, no, I want to do this, I want to do this. There was enough all the time that was coming our way, and just focused on doing this good work. So that's the good work that we want to be doing some things in certain way has gotten me till here, and hopefully now I have this responsibility of taking the young architects and create a bright future for them. So hopefully we will implement. I happen to do this GS 10K, a stint short course at IIM, learned a lot of things about entrepreneurship, and I said, hey, if I knew all this long back, you know, things would have been very different for me. So I'm so excited to apply all the learning from here and take Right Inspires to the next level.
Having seen lots of your projects, right, it has some incredible complexity in the way it is thought of and then brought into fruition. I'm sure that this process might be very exciting and must also involve such well-made teams that are so specialized at executing so many different functions. So how was your experience building such teams, and how do you get a project, say, from just an idea stage to an actual home or an actual structure that people love using?
From scratch to a stage where people live in, and I always make it a point to go back to the homes that I built to just see how they are using this place and how they are enjoying, and I get my own feedback from watching them live there, and I see these little kids in the home so excited about the environment that they have gotten. So this is the big picture that we have always, every time we design, that then we work backwards, we come back and talk to the family, you know. I must say I'm very, very lucky with people. That has been my gift of life. Every time I find the people who come to my life are so beautiful, be it the clients, the young architects who come to me, be it the wonderful contractors and workmen who put our design into reality. Those beautiful minds and hands, they are creating the magic in the background. And sometimes I just want to sit back and watch all this happen, you know. It's just like one series of magic things come through. We put in a lot of interest into what we are doing, and we define in the design stage itself. So architecture is a beautiful course. You will all go, if you went through the course, you will understand how beautiful it is, the whole process of design. And then we infuse some energy into these contractors and workmen, so they are able to do this, build it with the same energy. So by the time the house is ready, I am saying that so many people's positive energy is already in there and making it all, you know, and we're bringing in nature, so there's so much of energy in there. So it's obviously a happy space for anybody to live in.
One of the major aspects of the current modern world that we live in is being more aware of nature, being more aware of sustainability. What are some practices that you follow in the homes that you build or you design that make them sustainable?
Actually, the whole sustainability principle is also back in our land. Every home that was built, not only home, every probably temple or anything that was built on this land was completely sustainable. Right? So it's in the land. There is this traditional wisdom already in this land. So it is simple, basic sense of contextual study of your outside influences. It is to get in the 5 elements into your built space, make it interactive, get the light inside, get the air inside to the optimum level, have that beautiful greenery inside, make it a good place for, you know, birds, bees, and for your own self. You kind of do that balance. I mean, it's like an artist's work. So it's a measure. There are courses that teach sustainable architecture. There is a measure that they put in. They say this much of lighting, this much of ventilation and everything. But the way we have been doing, the way I learned to do from my mentor to what we have been doing is all like an artist's work, like somebody who does very good cooking. It just comes together like that with all positive intents, and it is very important to define the end goal when you get into it. So today it is in the cities, when you build, what happens to that rainwater that is on your rooftop? Where are you sending it? Our traditional homes, they harvested that. They used that water because that was the cleanest water that one could have, right? The sunlight that falls on our rooftop, can we harness, can we use that energy? You know, simple things. Keep your wet waste separate, keep your dry waste separate. The very basic, simple, there's no rocket science, and it's very much doable to live a sustainable lifestyle.
I think my follow-up question would be, in your tryst with entrepreneurship, right? From being a professional, having studied architecture and having started your practice with architecture, to growing your venture and becoming an entrepreneur with having so many employees, setting up an office, lots of different things that are involved in this process. What are some hardships or hiccups that you may have faced in the journey?
Being your own accounts is not something that I understand. Accounts is so difficult for me to. I don't understand money so well, and also don't like to control people with some, you know, this is the way you do things of sorts. So there's a lot of struggle. It's been very organic, and up to a few thousands here and there I can calculate. Beyond that it becomes very difficult to calculate. And how do you make sure that you bring in that culture in the workplace? You know, you have to make your people believe in what you believe. You have a smile on your face and you want all of them to exhibit that, because that is what worked for you, right? That's a spirit that you have put up works in all these years. And how do you make them do it? So there has been a lot of struggle. It's not been easy, but it's fun, yeah. I enjoy every day of my work.
Okay. What are some, I mean, you must have built homes for lots and lots of people, right? What are some interesting stories about a home that you built for somebody, maybe somebody popular, or a story of how you built the home itself?
A lot of interesting families, interesting characters. Some are doing extremely good in their career, and some are deeply rooted in the culture. Some are very eccentric. We have done homes for all kinds of people, and the biggest thing I believe in is my client is my inspiration. I take up what they are, and I will try to find a reflection of their character in the homes we build. It's very, again, it's not a measurable thing, but it happens. Finally, when the house is built, you can see that, oh, this is this, this guy's, this is Pradyun's house. You can get that character out there. So ideally, what we do is celebrate our clients. And we've done extremely interesting works. I tell each time to my clients that, it's a teamwork. You also have to put in that work, but I have seen they enjoy the process so much, as much as the final product. So it is that journey of homes coming up, or any construction activity is like children growing. You want to see them grow. It's such a beautiful process. You want to see them grow. So each of our clients, we instill this energy in them. We make it so exciting and interesting for them, sharing maybe 3Ds or talking about how the house comes up. So they are in this actively in this process. If they do not interfere with us when we are doing work, but they are always having that camera, or they're always making those visits to see, how is this coming? So they are enjoying the process as much as the project. And from a yoga guru to a tech expert to an elderly family where we understand the requirements so well, to extremely somebody who is so young, just started off their career. Because for them, when we build, they do not have money right now, but they are going to have a lot of requirements coming up that we have to build for their future life. So all of these we have seen happen, and I just think, and I just believe that when we are good to people, people would be good to us. So it's mostly with that spirit that we work, and definitely all our clients come back to us after 10 years, Prathima, we need this, we need that, added, we need this. Because when you're building, you do not capture every requirement of yours. So building is a process that you are building. So it's a continuous process.
Creativity is something that's very much a part of architecture and running an architecture firm, right? I'm sure students who are in the DB program also have creativity and innovation as a subject in their term one. So how do you balance both a creative mind and a mind that is more organized and needs to get work done, work with teams, set deadlines, meet those deadlines, things like that? Because only if you strike a balance between both can you actually go out and execute such large projects.
Creativity is inside somewhere, so we celebrate it, we enjoy. There's always a challenge of doing things on time because we always want to do it better, and it's never good to go ahead. Challenge is there, but through practice you will learn that. So I think over years of practice, we have now have a balance between the two, and we would never compromise creativity.
What do you think are some very important tips for anybody in a professional practice, be it a lawyer, be it a doctor, be it an architect, be it a CA, to start their own practice or to start their own venture, or some tips for them that you think would be really helpful?
I think it's very important you find somebody in the profession who has an experience, who you connect with, and find an opportunity to work closely with them. That is, from a senior, when you are shadowing, you get to leverage the experience that they have, and you do not end up doing the same mistakes they have done. So your initial years become so much more easy. So find your mentor is the first thing that I want to tell somebody who's really out there, because a mentor, then with a mentor you're 5 years ahead of everybody. I mean, that's what happened with me. So I was fortunate to find the right mentor, and I think I'm ahead because of that. So that is one thing, and the second thing is, please do have patience. There's no hurry. Life is long. We are all going to live till 90 years, and it's 60 years of knowledge worker's career. And what's the hurry? Why do you want to earn all the money that you want in the initial years? I think in any of these professions, the initial years are tough. And the less you're focused on money in those years, it is better. You will definitely have that money come back to you. And in most of these professions, you're considered young when you have some years of experience. In your 40s is when you're considered, like in architecture, when you're in 40s is when you're a young architect. So there's no hurry. Take life easy.
Okay. In the sustainability or in the architecture space, right, what do you think are some very exciting opportunities? What is new? What would architecture look like 10 years later, or what would the sustainable architecture space look like a few years later? What do you think are your predictions?
I am looking at an innovation in sustainable architecture where we can either fly our buildings in the air or float our buildings in the water, live close to nature. I think we have to break out of this packed, claustrophobic living. We have to find ways. There's going to be innovation in that angle. Something is going to come up where we can live. Yes, we are social beings. We love to live as communities, but yes, we have to have that connect with nature.
I mean, in continuation with that, right? Why is your connect with nature so deep? Is it something from your childhood, a place that you used to visit? Is it your hometown, perhaps? Where do you get this deep rootedness to nature?
Yeah, my parents are from Chikmagalur. It's a beautiful place on earth, the Western Ghats, and my village, Seethur, is such a beautiful valley. It's such a quiet valley, and as a child, every vacation I've spent there, and I don't know how much of an impact that place has had for me, that I just love nature. I can get into a meditative stage at any point when I see some greenery out there. It's so fascinating.
Okay.
And so, in that, in our village, we see the stars in the sky. Yeah, it's so beautiful. That's something you miss here.
So, any last tips or tricks that you'd like to leave with our audience, or suggestions on what they can do to build their own venture or be more entrepreneurial in whatever they do? Anything that you'd like to leave them with?
Entrepreneurial needs 3 qualities actually: enthusiasm, spontaneity, and skill to network. And I think I didn't pretty much have the skill to network, which is why I haven't grown as much. But I definitely had the enthusiasm, I had the passion and the drive, right? That's so important. And spontaneity is something, that's what makes you an entrepreneur. Yeah, so go for it. Keep learning. Learning is a space that can take you to places, and as entrepreneurs, what you will definitely miss is, see, when you're a child in the school or in college, you have group of people who are with you, right? And you are just moving in that direction. Many of the times you even go to the loo with a couple of friends in your college, right? But you're just out of college and it's you. It's just you, and you have to do something about yourself. Now when you get into a company, again you find people with corporates and other things, and so the journey is again together. But if you choose to be an entrepreneur, it's you yourself. So networking becomes so important in this context, where you find like-minded people, where you share your good things, challenges that's coming your way, and then take things through. So enthusiasm, networking, and spontaneity, the most important skills for an entrepreneur.
I think just another question, because you mentioned qualities or things required to be an entrepreneur, right? What sort of support system have you had that helped you take your entrepreneurial leap?
Oh my God, my family. I love my family. I have my husband who's so supportive all the time. I have wonderful children who are like, okay, mom has work and we understand. So this has been a great support. I have a loving mother-in-law who takes care of, who feeds us well. So that's been a great support and some kind of an encouragement. I still think my dad is no more, but I still think he's somewhere behind, all the time supporting. And I'm so fortunate to have been, to have had the education, and the education has become a base for me to be the entrepreneur. Yeah, I thank my parents for giving me that education.
So I think with that, we had a wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Same here, Pradyun. I loved it.
I hope all our students enjoyed watching this session. I hope you did a lot of Googling into architecture, into Frank Lloyd Wright, into Wright Inspires, into Prathima Seethur and Seethur the village. And you would have learned a lot of different things, gotten a lot of perspective, how to talk to people more, how to build a great team, what is next in architecture and sustainability. I think these are lots of perspectives that you must have definitely gotten out of this conversation. So thank you very much for that. And I'd like to leave our audience with the last small fun fact. Architect Prathima Seethur is actually my own mother. So she just completed the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women program here at IIM Bangalore, and I happen to be interning here at the same time. So I'd like to thank you so much for being a part of this interview series and inspiring all of us to become entrepreneurs and be entrepreneurial.
Thank you, Pradyun. Thank you, IIMB, for having me here. That was a great opportunity. This is a good share. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.